Hey guys, welcome back to BBarbstat&fact. I'm Brian. Nice to be with you today. This is my channel, YouTube channel. I'm Brian. So today is going to be, I'm going to be recapping the 2005 season for the Indianapolis Colts, my NFL football team. They're not playing today. They're on a bye. So this was a while ago, about 18 years ago. The Colts they were 14-2. They had the best record in the NFL. And as a result of that, they got home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Marvin Harrison led the team with 12 touchdown receptions. Peyton Manning finally got his first win against the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football in a 40-21 win. However, the season did not culminate with a Super Bowl win. It culminated with the AFC divisional loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 21-18. So, the Colts started off 13-0 that season. They gave up 247 points that year, so an average of 15.2 points a game. They were second in the NFL. Chicago had the number one defense. They scored 439 points, which was second in the NFL. So that's 27.5 points a game. So they averaged, so the point differential, it was 12 points exactly. So they were beating their teams by about an average of 12 points, which is almost a couple touchdowns a game. Their first loss came against the Chargers in Week 15, 26-17, when Drew Brees used to play for the San Diego Chargers. Actually, that was his last game. So they had 7 30-point games, and they had 3 40-point games, including that Monday Night Football game in New England, where they won 40-21. Yeah, Manning finally getting his first win in Foxborough. He was, well, even pre-Tom Brady era, he lost in 98, his rookie season. Lost in 99, they had a lead that game. Lost in 2000, 2001, 2003, 2004. So he was 0-6. So, and in the playoffs as well, the prior season, they lost in the divisional, 20-3. So he was 0-7 all time in New England, both Old Stadium and Foxborough. Finally gets a win on Monday Night Football. Colts pretty much putting a beating on them. Peyton Manning throwing for 327 yards, 3 touchdowns. Finally getting over that hump and beating New England. Because Indianapolis, New England, and Pittsburgh were 3 of the best teams in the AFC. Quite a contrast now. Colts couldn't beat New England. You know, everybody calls it a rivalry, You know, it wasn't a rivalry. Tom Brady was beating Peyton Manning every time they would match up. So it was a one-sided affair. Finally getting that win. The loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs. The Colts had played Pittsburgh in Week 12 earlier that season. They won 26-7, also on Monday Night Football. So let's before I recap about that game, Robert Mathis, who was the Colts defensive end at the time, one of the best defensive ends in Colts history and in NFL history, recorded 11.5 sacks and 8 forced fumbles. He plays on the left side. So defensive end is responsible for getting after the quarterback, so trying to sack the quarterback. Dwight Freeney, right defensive end. So he played on the right side. Dwight Freeney. He was known for that patented spin move. You know, every time the quarterback's back, he'd spin off. Try and sack the quarterback. Also one of the best defensive ends in NFL history. Recorded 11 sacks and 8 forced fumbles that year. Keto June, who was the Colts linebacker, led the team with 5 interceptions. Like I said, Marvin Harrison, I referenced earlier, 12 touchdowns that year. It seemed like every year when the Colts were in their prime, Harrison was catching 10, 11, 12 touchdown passes from Peyton Manning every year. He had 1,146 receiving yards, that season. Top 5 in the NFL. One of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Certainly the best wide receiver in Indianapolis Colts history. Yeah, so to recap, the Colts got, like I said earlier, the Colts 14-2, home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs. They were arguably the best team in the regular season. And they host the 6th-seeded Pittsburgh Steelers, who beat the Cincinnati Bengals the week prior. Got a little bit of fortuitous because quarterback Carson Palmer blew out his ACL. So Pittsburgh, I don't want to see the beneficiary of winning against a backup quarterback, but they got the job done, beat Cincinnati in the wild card. Pittsburgh, very different approach to this game. First drive, they could march down the field. Roethlisberger hits Antoine Randall L. on the opening drive, scores a touchdown, force a punt. Their next drive, interception. Colts punt the ball, can't do much of anything. Roethlisberger goes right back down the field on their third drive. He finds tight end Heath Miller. Pittsburgh got 14-0 right off the bat. RCA Dome, very, very silent. And so was I. I wasn't too happy. Wasn't too happy, you know. But Colts get a field goal. Trail 14-3 at the half. Second half opens up with another Pittsburgh touchdown. 21-3. Pittsburgh heading into the fourth quarter. Actually, before the fourth quarter, the Colts were 4th and 2. Manning decided to go for Tony Dungy, which is the Colts head coach at the time, one of the best head coaches in NFL history. He decides to put on the punt team. Peyton Manning looks right at him, is doing this, waving him off. It's 4th down and 2. They got to go for it here. If they don't go for it, they were inside their own I believe it was at the 38-yard line. If they don't get this first down, this game's over. Pittsburgh probably takes over, runs out clock. It's over. So I think that was a very good decision by Peyton. You know, Dungy's, definitely a miscommunication right there. Dungy wanted them to punt. Manning wants to go for it. Waving him off. And obviously it paid dividends as he hit Brandon Stokely with a little crossing pattern. Then that in the quarter, Colts start off the fourth quarter. Peyton drops back. It's Dallas Clark for a 50-yard touchdown pass. It was also one of my YouTube shorts. I also upload YouTube shorts on this channel. Highlights of players pertaining to my 4 favorite sports teams. 50-yard touchdown pass to Dallas Clark. Colts cut the lead to 21-10. They get the ball back. They go down and score again. Peyton Manning gives it to Edgerrin James. Colts cut the lead to 5. Then they go for 2. Peyton hitting Reggie winning the back of the end zone. Reggie getting the right foot down, dragging the left foot with him. 2 feet in bounds, 21-18. Colts get the ball back. Just over 2 minutes to go. However, it does not work out for them. It's Joey Porter on consecutive times. Colts pinned deep inside their 10-yard line. Sacks on consecutive plays. Joey Porter, one of the linebackers for the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the best. Sacked them twice, including 4th down. The Steelers take over. Under 2 minutes to go. Colts with no timeouts left. Pretty much going to run the clock out here. It's over. You will never believe what happens next, what transpires next. Jerome Bettis, who was the longtime running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Roethlisberger hands off to him. He tries to run for a touchdown. Middle linebacker Gary Brackett for the Colts leans in with his head, punches the ball out with his head. Bettis fumbles the ball. Nick Harper recovers the ball, runs it all the way. It looks like he's going to run it all the way back. If he had just kept going up the sidelines, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. He cuts back, and Ben Roethlisberger cuts him off. Ben Roethlisberger being the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. And it was a game-saving touchdown. That play saved, Ben Roethlisberger saved the game, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So Manning drives him down the field, and eventually they get set up for a 46-yard field goal to tie the game. Mike Vanderjagt, who was one of the best kickers in the NFL at the time, our kicker, literally just played his last snap in the NFL as he drops back to kick. Doesn't he shank this ball? He would have thought there was wind in the dome. Doesn't he shank this ball right? And literally, simultaneously, Tony Dungy, Colts head coach, Bill Cowher, the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, Peyton Manning, Jerome Bettis, at the same time, after that kick. No hyperbole, same reaction. He missed it. He missed it. He missed it. He missed it. Couldn't believe it. Was so shell-shocked. Mike Vanderjagt was so mad. Red as a cherry in the face. Just smacks his helmet on the ground. Gets an unnecessary roughness penalty. Mike Vanderjagt just played his last snap in the NFL, and deservedly so. Colts lose 21-18. It was a great season. However, it ends in major disappointment. Pittsburgh lands up going on to win the AFC Championship in Denver. And then they land up beating Seattle in the Super Bowl in Detroit 2 weeks later against the Seattle Seahawks. 21-10. It was actually Jerome Bettis' hometown. It's amazing how the dots can be connected. So, that is a recap of the... Oh, yeah, and Peyton Manning had 28 touchdown passes that season, which was second to Carson Palmer with 32. He had 3,747 pass yards, and as well as he made his 6th Pro Bowl appearance. So, anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as we did producing it. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, tell your friends, family, share it. Leave a comment down below. Thank you, and thank you for your support. I will be posting another video in the foreseeable future. The YouTube shorts are ongoing. I will be posting a couple very soon. Until then, have a good day. Go Colts!